Nation. The hobby is the people. Weekly news and interviews. It's your number one source. Sports Card Nation. The hobby is the people. Sports Card Nation.
Welcome to another stocked and loaded episode of the Sports Card Nation podcast, the show that brings you all the important hobby news, discussions, debates, opinions, info, and interviews with key hobby and sports dignitaries. Also, if you're good, you know we are going to give away something. Now, here's the guy who wanted the cards more than the gum, John Newman.
Hello and welcome to episode 65 of the Sports Card Nation podcast. I'm John Newman. Full slate for you today. We have a very special guest, pretty known in the card world. He's actually the Guinness Book of World Record holder for most baseball cards by a non-retailer, in other words, a non-seller, not a store. And that record that he holds is 2.8 million baseball cards. If you've seen pictures, he's got pretty much a garage loaded up. Here's the crazy part. He's going to tell you every one of those is in alphabetical order. So insane to think about. His name is Foul Ball Paul, or Paul Jones. He's a collector. He's an actor. Was in Stu Stone's Jack of All Trades. If you've seen that, you know who I'm talking about. And he's very famous in the card community, and really, a good kid. I call him a kid, because I'm old, so anyone younger than me is automatically a kid. But, he loves baseball cards. He loves the sport of baseball. We're going to talk about his collection, his favorite things about it, what it was like shooting a movie, what it's like getting recognized in public, and does he like all those things. And he's been on obviously news media and TV and obviously the movie. This is his first ever podcast. Just full disclosure, Paul suffers from Asperger's syndrome, which is a form of autism. But he's very articulate and loves cards, and we're glad to have him today. And in talking to his dad, baseball cards has been therapeutic for him. It's made him more outgoing, passionate about something, purposeful. And, anytime you hear that the hobby can have a positive impact on someone's life, that's obviously a very positive thing. And for Foul Ball Paul, we'll talk about how he got that moniker as well. But for Foul Ball Paul, it's his passion. He loves it. He loves the sport of baseball. And, the baseball cards and the sport of baseball have got him, to a place in his life where he enjoys things. He's met a lot of people, a lot of ball players, and it's a wonderful thing. And so, again, he's going to join us and tell us a little bit about what the cards and the sport mean to him. A little self-promotion before we actually get the show underway. We have another podcast we've started. If you're listening to this, the first episode is probably out of it. It's called Hobby Quick Hits. It's going to be a shorter version pod. It's going to be one subject I tackle, 8 to 15 minutes in length. Just going to get in, get out, talk about it, and no guest, very few ads, if any, and it's not going to be on a set schedule. It's going to be whenever we produce one. Could be one every 2 weeks, one every 3 weeks. This show will remain in every Friday with a guest type show. Nothing's changing here. So if you're a fan of the show, we hope you are, it's not going to affect what we do. This is, I'll use a sports card term. This is the flagship. This is our flagship program, and Hobby Quick Hits is going to be our one-off podcast, if you will. and it'll just be kind of a random, sporadic thing. But episode 1 should be out by the time you're listening to this. And give it a listen, and follow us on Twitter at Hits Hobby, HITSHOBBY, at Hits Hobby. Thanks. It's time for What's Cracking. All right, let's start out with the news coming out of the Topps Conference in Arizona. A lot of new products on the Topps horizon. Start out with Allen and Ginter. They are going to chrome it out, and it's going to be a chrome edition. So there's going to be 3 Allen and Ginters: your regular edition, your chrome edition, and the one they always do, Allen Ginter X. The X, I believe, will be exclusive to Montgomery Club members, unless they do something differently than they said. And then Topps decided that's not enough chrome.
Chrome. She can see herself in the shiny grill.
And they're not enough chrome, so Topps is going to make a Stadium Club Chrome edition. That will be out in November. It will be Stadium Club Update. It will be its own set, in addition to the regular Stadium Club release. So 3 Allen and Ginter brands, 2 Stadium Club lines, and we're not done yet. The Transcendent case, the briefcase that's upwards of $20,000 to $25,000. There's going to be 3 of those. The flagship brand, if you will, of it. And now there's going to be a Bowman Transcendent. That's going to have a suggested retail price of only $15,000. So get your coin banks out, break them open. And then there's going to be a Hall of Fame edition in May. So we got 3 Allen and Ginter lines. Now we have 3 Transcendent lines: the regular edition, the Bowman Transcendent, and the Hall of Fame Transcendent. We're not done yet. Topps is going to bring back Topps Sterling. This is a very cheaper product, if that's even a word or good English. But it's only $500 a box compared to $15,000 or $25,000. 2 packs in that box. And they're themed, so it's going to be nothing numbered over 25. And the way I'm reading it, every box should have at least one of one relic card. And at $500 compared to the Transcendent, that seems cheap, don't it? We're not done yet. They're coming out with a one-of-one line, and that's where if an athlete's going to be at an event, you can custom order cards that can be autographed. So Topps really just expanding their lines. I mean, majority of these new products are very, very pricey. It's going to be interesting to see how they're received, but in the breaking world, this stuff just gets opened at a breakneck pace. So I'm sure it'll all sell out. Let's go to a little bit of the sports world. Malik Monk is suspended indefinitely for violating the NBA's drug policy. No details to what specifically he did. Joe Burrow, the projected number 1 pick in the NFL draft. First, there was rumblings he didn't want to go to Cincinnati. Now he's come out and basically said he's got no problem with whoever picks him first. I think that's just some player speak. I think there's stuff going on behind the scenes to not have him wind up in Cincinnati, a la Eli Manning and the San Diego Chargers back in the day. We'll see how this all shakes out. Speaking of the NFL draft, the Combine starts this weekend. You might already be starting when you're listening to this podcast. Topps Heritage is out. This is a product that just kicks my ass up and down the block to the point where I really don't even open it much anymore. It's just I don't really have good luck with it. So I opened my blaster box and 2 jumbo packs. Did not do well really at all. Got a Vlad high number. Probably one of my best card. A common French back. And that was really the gist of my pulls out of that product. And every year that just really keeps biting me in the butt. And I buy less and less every year. So I think my heritage consumption is going to be a blaster box and 2 jumbo packs. And we out with that product. Upper Deck Series 2 hockey is out. More Young Guns, including my guy, Capo Caco. So send me all your Capo Cacos. Just kidding, but not really. That's my. I don't PC a lot of guys, but that's one of the few that I do. If you do have some, let me know.
I'm going to make him an offer again with you.
Luis Severino, out for the year. Tommy John surgery. Tim Tebow, going to play baseball in the World Baseball Classic for his country he was born in. No, not the United States. Philippines. He's going to play for the Philippine team in the World Baseball Classic, or at least that's the early plans. Real quick story with Tim Tebow. We're here in Syracuse, New York. Tim Tebow played last year here with the AAA affiliate here of the Mets. We came very close. I'll say this now. I didn't say it then. We came very close last year to getting Tim Tebow on this program. We're going to try again. I know the GM of the Syracuse Mets a little bit, and so there were some preliminary discussions to make that happen. Tim Tebow started to not play well, and he really kind of quit doing a lot of media. So hopefully he gets off if he's down here, which I suspect he will be. Hopefully he gets off to a nice start, and maybe we can get him on the show. Maybe that would be obviously an in-person interview. I did get to talk with him a little bit at the stadium itself just before the game. Nothing, just impromptu stuff. Nothing planned. So hopefully maybe a Tim Tebow sighting on Sports Card Nation. Cross our fingers here. Tom Brady looking more and more likely that he will not be a Patriot next year. Some indications that there's been a falling out, but you never know how to read these reports. Sometimes I wonder how much truth is to it. One day I really feel like he's probably not going to be a New England Patriot, and then other times I can't see him not being there. So we'll see, but reports are things have gotten a little rocky between the front office and him. So I guess if there ever was a time where he may wind up somewhere else, this might be it. Panini Select Baseball will be a standalone product in April. There is Panini Select, but previous to this year, it's been in the Chronicles line, the Chronicles release. Now it will have its own brand coming in April. And the Derek Jeter first game used jerseys went for somewhere in the vicinity of $360,000. Now, one of the interesting items on the auction block is a Kobe Bryant yearbook from middle school, in which he signed that person's yearbook, and he wrote in the, when you sign a yearbook, you obviously write some stuff down. He wrote down something pertaining about being a future Laker or playing for the Lakers, and this was when he was in 8th grade. So sort of foreshadowing what actually happened. His signature, it's certified by JSA, and it's different than his signature looks, obviously, once he was older and in the NBA, but it can be yours if the price is right.
Card Nation podcast is your weekly hobby and sports podcast. Now on tons of platforms including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, and many more. Listened to in 44 different countries globally, Sports Card Nation is one of the most interactive podcasts around, providing great content, giveaways, and some of the hobby's best interview guests without time constraints. Thousands can't be wrong. We want to thank all the wonderful listeners around the world, our awesome guests on the show, and our tremendous sponsors making us what we are today. Remember, without you, there's no us.
All right, my next guest is a collector, a baseball fan, and an actor. You may have seen him in the film Jack of All Trades, Stu Stone's movie. He is the person with the most cards, baseball cards, Guinness Book of Record holder. Last check, 2.7 million, but we'll check with him and see what the total is. So my next guest on the 101 Card Shop line is Paul Foulball Jones. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey, I saw you in the movie. You did very well. You and your dad. To those who may not know, kind of give the backstory. How did you get the nickname Foul Ball?
I actually got hit by a baseball at Qualcomm Stadium at a San Diego Padres versus Chicago Cubs game, and Joe Girardi and Ricardo Mako were in the bullpen throwing to each other, and the ball hit the seat in front of me, hit my seat, and then hit me in the ear. And that's how I got the name Foul Ball Paul.
Did you were you hurt at all, or hopefully not?
I ended up with a mini concussion.
You did. Oh, that's not good. Well, I mean, you're okay now. Did you? I got to ask you this: Did you get the ball at least out of the deal?
Yes, I did.
All right. Well, at least there's a happy ending to the story. Who do you remember who hit it?
Joe Girardi, the ex-Chicago Cubs catcher who used to be Dickey's manager.
Yep.
And Ricardo Mako, the old Cubs pitcher.
Oh, okay. Yep. You said okay. All right. I thought you said they were warming up. All right. So it was off Joe Girardi's bat. So a little backstory there. Mini concussion. Could have been worse, and you got the ball, and you got a nickname, a moniker for the test of time out of it too, with Foul Ball. So when did you become a baseball fan? How old were you?
I was 10 years old when I became a baseball fan.
Okay. Do you have a certain team you root for, a player?
The San Francisco Giants Major League team.
Yeah.
I used to know Bruce Bochy, the manager.
Yep.
And he used to sell me tickets to the Padres games in San Diego, and I used to come watch him manage the Padres team.
Yep. So you're a Giants fan. Do you have a favorite player, or do you like just a lot of players in general?
My favorite player was Tim Lincecum on the Giants.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Paul, how did you get into the card collecting aspect?
My parents used to take me to the old Las Vegas Star AAA baseball games at Castro Field in downtown Las Vegas, which was the AAA team for the San Diego Padres, Major League team. And they took me to a game one day, and I stood there and I was getting autographs from the players, and Tim Flannery, the old manager, came up to me and asked me if I wanted to go in the locker room with him and get my cards signed, and I said yes, and it went from one pack to 2.8 million baseball cards and counting. So by a person, not a business.
Holy smoke! So it's the current total is 2.8.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me ask you this, Paul. How do you know exactly how many there is? Like, how do you get a count?
I count them all by hand in alphabetical order.
And then you don't start from one. You just know how many you had, and then you add. When you get new ones, you add them to what you already have.
No, I count them all together by hand.
Yeah, but so when you're at 2.8, if you get new ones, you just add them to the two.
I add them to all the other ones.
Oh, all right. You scared me for a minute. I thought you were going to say you start all over again. So, how do you acquire the new baseball cards do you get? Do you buy boxes, packs? Do you?
Yes, I buy boxes, or I go to card shops, and I have owners that give me people's card collections.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite? Go ahead, Paul.
And I go to minor league stadiums and I pick up team sets from different teams.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite like set? Or like maybe Donruss or Tops or 5-star. Do you have a favorite brand or particular, or you just like them in general?
I just like all in general.
Yeah. Okay. How many do you open? A lot of wax? Do you open a lot of packs, or it depends?
Yes, I open maybe a couple hundred boxes a year.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a lot more than most people. And so
it is a lot.
And so you just keep like anytime you get new card, you just add them to the count.
Yep, I just keep adding them.
Do you know who you're the Guinness holder? What do you get? Does Guinness give you anything? Like, is there a certificate? Like, how did
your name? They put your name in their book.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you get paid to hawk their book and travel and.
Oh, so you make appearances in behalf of the record and stuff. I was gonna say you'll make appearances on behalf of being the record holder.
No, I don't get paid to make appearances.
Oh, okay.
I just do it for the love of the game.
Okay. Well, yeah, you don't have to get paid. I just said you just will be somewhere and you'll be the world record holder for most cards.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, how did the whole Jack of all trades? How did you get involved in that? Did Stu reach out to you?
Stu Stone went to Jose Canseco's house out in Las Vegas, Nevada, where I used to live.
Yeah.
And Jose called me, and he told me that he had some people that wanted to meet me. And next thing you know, Stu Stone shows up at my house, and he wanted to interview me for the movie.
Yeah. What you think? I mean, were you nervous? What did you think of? Yeah, I'm assuming you never been in a movie prior to this.
No, I had never been in a movie prior to that.
What was going through your mind? What were you nervous? Were you wondering?
I was excited about being in a movie.
All right. Well, I love the movie. Obviously, you did a great job in it yourself. I got to ask you. I've seen it 2 or 3 times. I got to ask you, as being someone that's actually in the movie, how many times have you watched the movie? In all honesty,
33 times I've watched it already.
All right. Well, if I was in the movie too, I'm sure I'd watch it that many times as well. That's cool. Now, has that sparked any interest of doing more movies, or Stu talked about maybe?
Stu and I are in talks for Jack of All Trades #2, the movie.
All right.
And I'm also going to be in Sports Collectors Digest magazine this week. And ESPN wants to interview me.
There you go. So you're blowing up, Paul. You're going to be well, you're already a celebrity, but you're going to be even more so. The cards, where do you I know, we saw in the movie you kind of had them sort of in a room, but you kind of had them throughout. I know you moved from Vegas. How do you store them all?
I keep them in 3,500 count boxes in alphabetical order in my garage, in my downstairs apartment, and my kitchen.
Now, when you say alphabetical order, you by player's last name, you mean?
By player's last name, yes.
Yeah. So if anyone says a player, you can pretty much find all the cards you have of that particular player.
Yes, I can.
That's cool, man. Now, as I do Newman Sports Card, which is like a side thing, and I collect as well, and I keep a lot of my inventory in alphabetical order too, but I don't have 2.8 million cards. So I can imagine that, that's a lot harder to do with that amount of cards. Do you just do baseball?
I just do baseball. I just don't do basketball, football, hockey, or any of those.
Yeah. Well, 2.8 million baseball cards. Do you have like a number? Like you have like a goal? Do you set any kind of goals, or you just? I'd like to get
to over 3 million baseball cards and counting, owned by a person out of business this year.
Yeah. Now, do you know who's behind you? Like, who's the closest person?
No, I'm the only one right now.
So you don't know whoever's in second if they have 2 million.
I don't know that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sometimes that's the best way. Just keep plugging along. Don't worry about, focus on your collection and whatnot. I got to say, 2.8 million cards. This is going to be a weird question. Do you have a particular favorite one, or you just have too many to pick just one card you're really fond of?
I have too many just to pick just one guy.
Yeah, that's cool. Like if you get an autograph card out of a pack, or you acquire it, or a jersey card, do you put them in alphabetical order still, or?
I put them in safety holder top loaders, and I put them in my locker downstairs in my apartment.
Yeah.
So I keep them for safekeeping.
Yeah. So is the cards that are in like monster boxes or are they some of them just in there without sleeves, or does everything get sleeved? How do you process your collection?
I put all my cards in top loaders, and then I put them in alphabetical order, in ABC order, in the 3,500 count boxes out in my garage.
Okay. So every card, regardless of value, is in a top loader?
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy, man. I gotta say. So you in a sense have 2.8 million top loaders with cards in them.
Yep.
Wow, that's a lot of plastic, Paul. But kudos to you. How did you? We're going to step aside for a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk to Foul Ball Paul about his relationship with Jose Canseco. So I wanted to talk about a new marketplace that is about to hit the sports card scene, and it's called StarStock. StarStock is building a sports card marketplace aimed to be faster and cheaper for flipping sports cards than any other platform. This is a ground level moment in the hobby, and StarStock is currently looking for people who want to be the first to sell their cards at launch of this new platform. It's due to launch in April this year, and here's what StarStock is offering you. 5% commission, no ingestion fees. You send in your cards, they do all the work and post them up for you. Cards are guaranteed and secured in their vault. Cards need to remain in the vault for trading. You can choose to ship your cards back at any time you'd like. StarStock will be a flipper's paradise. You can buy, flip, store, or ship cards with the click of a button. If you're interested in getting involved as a seller for launch, contact Mike Kuchera at mike@starstock.com before March 1st. StarStock is only looking for sellers with rookie cards and or prospect cards of current players. For more details, that email again is mike@starstock.com. Or you can follow them on Instagram at StarStockMarket. All one word. That's at StarStockMarket. Do you know Jose Canseco? How did you get to know Jose Canseco?
I went to a sports radio show with a friend of mine by the name of Marty Rodick out in Las Vegas, Nevada, and he was interviewing Jose Canseco, and his girlfriend was with him that day, and I got to hang out with Jose and his girlfriend, and next thing you know, he and I hit it off, and we became friends, and I started going out, hanging out with him to eat, and bat blowing, going out gambling, and going out to movies and stuff with him. And
so the rest is history. So, I mean, when I ask, like, if you have a favorite player, Jose's got to be in the contention for being your favorite player, I would think.
Yeah, him and his brother Ozzie Canseco.
Yep. Have you met Ozzie too?
Yes, I have on several occasions.
Okay. So I got to ask the obvious question, Paul. You got to forget. Can you tell them apart?
No, they're twins, actually.
Yeah, but even identical twins, sometimes there's little subtle differences. I was just wondering if you hung out with them long enough, if you could tell them.
Jose, like you could tell, Jose, his face twitches. Like his nose will twitch,
yeah.
His eyes will twitch.
Okay.
Ozzy's doesn't move at all.
Okay, so that's how you could easily tell who's who if you had to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at. So, but now that you're not in Vegas, do you see Jose at all anymore, or?
He and I lost touch, and I tried to get a hold of him, but he's just not returning any of my messages right now.
Yeah. Well,
he opened up his own car wash in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Okay. So where you live now, is there any baseball teams that you go to any games?
Yes, there is. The Idaho Falls Chuckers. We're the single A baseball team for the Kansas City Royals.
Okay. Yep. All right.
We have former Kansas City Royal player Billy Butler that lives out here.
Oh, yep. I remember him. Yep, Billy Butler. Is he the manager or?
No, he's retired. Actually, he's being paid by the Yankees $13 million a year not to play baseball.
All right, so he just lives locally, is what you're saying. He doesn't work for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you.
And he plays softball here in Idaho Falls.
Okay, so you run into him at all?
I run into him a couple times.
So you're big on when you go to games, you like to get autographs of the guys when you can?
Yeah, I like to get autographs from the players and the coaches. It's really fun.
Yeah, oh, no doubt. I'm here in Syracuse, which is the Mets AAA farm team, and Tim Tebow's on this team, and so we my son is.
They used to be in Vegas. They were called 51.
Yep, you're right. Yep, they moved here to Syracuse, and so we get to. My son's 20, and he's a huge Tim Tebow fan, so. He likes to go watch Tim Tebow play, and he's gotten Tebow's autograph on a Florida Gator jersey that he owns, and so Tim's a very nice guy.
He's also in charge of the Tim Tebow Foundation, which hosts Shine Proms for mentally and physically challenged people.
Yes, you're right. Tim does a lot of great charity work. It's one thing. Obviously, there's many things to admire about. Mr. Tebow, and that's definitely one of them. You never happened to meet him by any chance? I know you
no,
see.
I've never met him.
Okay.
I still haven't gone to any of his proms yet.
Okay.
But I have his Rumble Ponies card sitting right here in front of me.
Look at that, and that's like synchronicity right there. We didn't even plan that, Paul. That just happened on its own. So. He's a really good guy, and maybe hopefully someday your paths will cross and you get to meet him, because anyone that's met him will tell you, really down to earth, really nice guy. But
if you could spread my name to him, I'd appreciate it.
Well, if I tell you what, he's coming back this year. He made that announcement, so I'm sure I'll go to a few games, and if I get a chance to maybe get a quick conversation with him, I'll no doubt mention. Who you are, and I'll if depending on how much time I have, I'll pull up some social media stuff and see what we can. I don't hold me to anything. I can't promise you nothing, but I'll definitely try. So.
Hey, that sounds really good.
Well, you're no problem. Like I said, I'll do my best. There's a lot of people trying to. Talk to him and reach out to him. So sometimes we wait after the games, near the players' exit, and run into him that way. Sometimes he kind of, he's newly married now too. So sometimes his wife will, at the time it was his girlfriend, will kind of pull up, and he kind of jumps in real quick and gets out of there if he's got something to do, which is, got to respect their privacy too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 2.8, I can't get over that. All in top loaders, which is impressive. So you just keep going. You don't have like when I hit 5 million, I kind of want to stop. You're just going to keep going until
I won't stop until the day I die.
All right. Well, now and hopefully that's a long time from now, Paul. Paul, I one other thing I want to talk about. You got your own card, the Paul Foulball Jones card, made by Sage and Tom Guiderman. I know Stu got behind that, right? Stu made that happen?
Yeah, Stu contacted Tom Guiderman, and he made that happen for me.
Yeah, so, how cool is that, being a huge collector such as yourself, and now you're looking at yourself...
It's a really great honor, and I'm just glad to be on the baseball card. And we're talking about making even more baseball cards of me with different mascots.
Yeah, also like a mascot series.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. Now, how often, like when you're out in public, do people recognize you from the movie or from maybe seeing you in the news about having the most, do people say, hey, that's, foul ball Paul?
Yeah, a lot of people, they recognize me when I go out in public, and they realize that it's me from the movie or TV.
Yeah, what do you think of that? Does it get annoying or not really? Do you like it?
No, I love my fans. My fans are great people.
Yeah. Well, that's a good attitude. That's why I asked you, because, that's a good way to be and a good attitude. Sometimes you hear, the opposite stories, and it's nice to know you appreciate them and they appreciate you.
I'm getting ready to go to Phoenix, Arizona to spring training.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Well, it started already. What are you going, for the weekend?
Next week.
You going the whole week?
Yep, I'm going for one whole week, and then I have to go to Reno and pick up my mom and my niece, who's 2 years old.
Oh, so you got like the whole itinerary all set.
Yeah.
So when you go to Arizona, are you going to like multiple spring training parks, or do you usually hit just one?
Yep, I'm going to as many teams as I can, and
that's cool. Well, man, it's nice that the love of baseball that you have has gone into a hobby that you have a passion for. You've become a Guinness Book a record holder. Not many people can say that. Very few can, percentage wise, and so you have that to, not that you did it for that. You did it for the love of the hobby, but that love of the hobby, got you that accomplishment. You're really down to earth. You enjoy it. You like I asked you, when people recognize you, you really appreciate that. And it's refreshing that you're like that. And you're a great advocate for the hobby. And it was awesome talking to you. Keep collecting. I love to meet you. Do you go to the National at all? The big convention?
I've never gone to the Nationals.
Okay. Well, maybe, one of these years you can get to one. Hopefully I'm there. I'd love to meet you definitely in person.
Thank you. I'd love to meet you as well someday soon.
Yeah.
And hope to go to a game with you.
Oh, that would be great. I'll buy you. You like nachos?
I like hot dogs.
All right. Well, the first hot dog's courtesy of me. I'll buy you a hot dog if we get to do that. So Paul,
Awesome.
There you go. Let's try to get that done at some point. I appreciate your time. I know you're busy. Before we go, do you want to give out any of your like social medias where people can check out what you're doing?
Everybody can reach me at Paul Ferdinand Jones on Facebook, and that's my only social media page that I have. I'd really appreciate anybody reaching out to me, and I will respond back as soon as I can.
Yep. So that's Paul Ferdinand Jones, and you're just on Facebook at this point.
Yep, just on Facebook.
Well, you're probably smart. You're probably smarter than most that are on all the social media. So good job by you. Well, Paul, it was awesome talking to you, man. I hope someday we get to meet, get to that game, and get to share some hot dogs and enjoy some baseball in person.
That would sound really good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care, buddy.
Take care. You have a great day.
You too. Let me tell you about Iron Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're your number one source for all your PSA grading submission needs. They're constantly submitting, so they are always at the ready when you're ready. They offer various turnaround levels at the lowest prices around. Cards are insured to and from PSA at no additional cost to you. And they even provide the card savers your precious cards need to be put in before being sent to PSA. They take care of that for you. And because of their elite status at PSA, they have some of the best turnaround times around. They even have group chats for each submission, so you know exactly where your status is on your cards. They have open dialogue and open communication. What are you waiting for? Contact Rob on Facebook on Iron Sports Card Group. That's Iron Sports Card Group on Facebook. Or get a hold of Rob on Twitter at Iron Sports Cards. All one word, at Iron Sports Cards. They'll take care of you. Okay, for an extra entry to win the $50 break credit from 101 Card Shop. We have a trivia question. If you know the answer to the question I'm about to ask, it can be garnered from the interview that I just did earlier in the program with Foul Ball Paul. He got his name Foul Ball Paul because he was hit by a foul ball off the bat of who? Who hit the foul ball that hit Paul that gave him his famous moniker? PM us or DM us the player that hit that ball, and you'll get an entry into the $50 break credit from 101 Card Shop. Good luck. One of One Card Shop offers a tremendous breaking experience, great customer service, and they're constantly pulling fire. Steve and his family take care of you like one of their own and treat you right. Anyone can break, but no one treats you like One of One. Come check them out on Instagram at one_of_one_card_shop. For all the hot breaks, get a gold mailer headed your way.
We love our listeners. Without you, there is no us. We care about your opinions and feedback and invite you to reach out to us on any of our social media accounts. On Instagram at Sports Card Nation Podcast, Twitter at SportsCardNati1, or email the show at sportscardnationpc@gmail.com. We don't ask for much, but if you really like the show, give us a shout out. Tell your friends or give us a follow on our social medias. If you enjoyed the show, please give us a positive review on iTunes or any of the platforms you are listening on. Thank you.
Well, that brings episode 65 to a close. I want to thank my guest today, Foul Ball Paul Jones. Thanks for coming on. And, he epitomizes what the hobby should be all about. It's something he loves, he embraces. It's done wonders for him, and it's fun to see and fun to watch someone who enjoys the hobby as much. Another thing, while we're on the topic, there's plenty of charitable Asperger syndrome organizations out there. I'd like to suggest maybe making a small donation to them to help educate and get those folks that suffer the affliction some things that can help them. So think about that. I know I'm going to do that myself, and wanted just to get that word out there. It's not a telethon per se, but if you've listened to this show, you know the show. I use it as a platform for good, and that would be doing a good thing. So, again, thank you for making this show what it is, which is, I can't put that in words, it's just tremendous. Don't forget Hobby Hotline, Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, a revolving door of hosts each week. It's a live call-in show on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Periscope, and so be on the lookout for that. I'll be on that every so often, as well as a lot of other great podcasters. So with that being said, we'll see you next week with episode 66.
You've been listening to the Sports Card Nation podcast. Join host John Newman next week as he gives you another jam-packed episode of all things related to the sports card hobby. And a little extra fun, too. Don't forget to check out the show on Instagram at Sports Card Nation Podcast.